All right, so taking a look at example number 1 here, titled Using the Quadratic Formula, we're going to solve x squared minus 12x equals negative 11 by using that quadratic formula. So we're going to rewrite our equation in standard form. We're going to do that by adding 11 to both sides. Okay, we always want to get our quadratic formula into the form where it equals 0 to start with. The reason for that is that quadratic formula, that generic quadratic formula, the quadratic equation solved, that produces the quadratic formula, is solved from this starting point. So in order to use the quadratic formula here, in order to use this, we also need to get our equation to look like this form. Okay, let me say that one more time. So when we originally go through the steps to take the quadratic equation and turn it into the quadratic formula, it starts out by being set equal to 0. So if we're going to take our equation and plug it into the quadratic formula, our equation must start out equaling 0, or else the A, B, and C will not line up. Okay, so once we get it like that, we can just start plugging things in. Okay, so we plug in, let me erase this here. We plug in our values for B, for A, and for C. So our negative B becomes negative 12 right there. Okay, negative 12 was our B value. Our A value is 1, so it shows up here and here. And our C value shows up right there. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're just filling in the B's, the A's, and the C's in our quadratic formula. So once again, through that, you will be filling in negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So in this scenario, we get negative 12, which is going to simplify to a positive 12, plus or minus the square root of negative 12 squared, which will simplify to 144, minus 4 times 1 times 11, which simplifies to 44, all over 2 times 1, which simplifies to 2. Okay, so in that third line, we see all those simplifications done. 12 plus or minus the square root of 144 minus 44 all over 2. Well, simplifying that, we get 12 plus or minus the square root of 100, and the square root of 100 is 10. So we have 12 plus or minus 10 over 2. So we have two answers, right? Because we have that plus or minus part. We have 12 plus 10 over 2, and we have 12 minus 10 over 2. Two separate solutions. We simplify those solutions to get 22 over 2 and 2 over 2, which respectively equal 11 and 1. So there we go. Our solutions are 11 and 1. Now, just in case it doesn't feel quite right to you to use this plus or minus sign, let's kind of refresh on where that comes from. So for example, if I have the number 25 and I want to find the square root of 25, my answer will be 5, but it will also be negative 5, right? Because 5 squared is 25 and negative 5 squared is 25. Rather than write all that out, we just write plus or minus 5. Okay, so let me say that one last time. If I square 5, I get the same thing as if I square negative 5. Therefore, both of those numbers are the square root of 25. Okay, anytime we take a square root, we're going to get two solutions. We're going to get a positive solution and a negative solution.